Unfortunately, Randy Pitchford declined our invitation to an interview.
He's sadly not here, everybody. He's doing a magic trick somewhere with
Somewhere.
some sort of USB thing.
That's right.
Watching some sort of website. Oh, who knows really.
Combining his love of magic and internet surfing.
And webcams.
But
anyway.
we can talk about Borderlands in his absence. We can do it ourselves. We got invited by a random agency that I think was trying to look for up-and-coming influencers.
And they didn't know who we were.
Maybe they hadn't seen our previous videos on Randy, but either way, we snuck in. We actually captured gameplay, and the gameplay you're seeing throughout this video is me playing on a console controller, and I don't play on controller, so get off my fucking back. I know it's bad.
I told
Just
you guys.
give me a break, for the love of God. I know it's bad, okay? I play on keyboard and mouse. But anyway, we played it, and I have to tell you, man, this was really, really, really fucking good.
Before we get there, let's drop it.
Check this out.
So, look, this I did not think was going to be a game that I was like, wow, you know, I was expecting to play Borderlands and go, okay, this feels strong and that's all well and good. This game for me has become my game of the show.
Whoa, big words.
Not because I didn't think Doom Eternal, I also think Doom Eternal was absolutely phenomenal. But the big difference is I wasn't surprised by Doom. I knew it was going to be fantastic. This game feels so fucking good. Let's just start with the weapon mechanics. The weapon mechanics feel so good. Like,
they really do.
Really good.
Look, and
like Destiny good, you know?
Yeah, they do.
They
like,
fucking nailed it,
If you
man.
go back and play Borderlands 2, you'll immediately feel there is a floatiness to weapons, to all of the weapons, that, you know, it's fine. It was great back then, don't get me wrong, but weapon mechanics have evolved a lot. That floatiness is gone. They just have such tremendous weight and feedback, and the way they just sort of train on their target, like I can't really describe it any other way than that. They just seem to really lock onto the target in the right way. And there's obviously some auto aim at work in there. We were playing on a controller, so what auto aim kicks in on controllers.
Huge auto aim,
it was a lot. But it felt like the right amount, because I don't know. Like I've always been of a view with console games like this that you want a healthy amount of auto aim, because it's about making the player feel really like powerful, rather than being like, oh, I'm so good, I don't need it. You know.
I agree.
That's just my view on that, and it just seemed like it's nailing that.
Yeah, I felt like, I mean, look, with a game like Borderlands, look, I haven't actually played the previous ones, to be honest, but of course I've followed it a lot and I understand what it all is. But as a new player coming to it, and I think that's my interesting maybe take on this, as a new player, this is going to hook me, you know? A lot of people that haven't jumped on with the previous Borderlands will look at this and give it a serious, you know, consideration now, because it's beautifully pretty. And the moment you pick it up for a demo, you're like, oh, I'm sold. There is something so awesome about it.
Yeah, I think the visual stuff is important, because I think if you just look at some trailers and they're cutting clips really fast between this and that, and you don't really remember what Borderlands 2 looked like, and you're like, is that really much of an upgrade? I was definitely in that basket, but having now sat down with it and seeing the level of visual fidelity that they brought to the table, the touch-ups, the redesigns, this game looks stunning, man. Like, it really does look so beautiful and so quintessentially Borderlands at the same time. They haven't changed that, you know?
And like, just like we were saying before with our Cyberpunk video, everyone tune in for that. There is also it feels like such a thoroughly well thought out world. It's so rich with personality and it's so interesting. And I couldn't help but look at it and go, this is what Rage could have been, man. You know, Rage didn't do it. Borderlands has done it, though.
Yeah.
It's given that whole post-apocalyptic or like just cool world that like kind of feels like Mad Max, for God's sakes, you know, but it has its own interesting look. But it feels and looks so cool.
We actually saw a new planet as well, like called Eden 6 or something, which is basically like a big swamp. Yeah, that world looked really awesome. Like just, really sort of like detailed and interesting and great.
Yeah.
And we also saw the new character class, the Gunner class. It actually controls like a big mech, like Diva, basically, which you can kind of like climb into. When you kit it out, by the way, you can kit it out on like either arm with like a minigun or a grenade launcher or a flamethrower, or you could have 2 miniguns or 2 grenade launchers or whatever else, and just wreck shit every now and then whenever your super's up.
Yeah, it looked like it had a really interesting, in-depth skill tree, you know, and they allowed you to kind of fill out one tree and then fill out another and then put them on different sides. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, and one of the skills actually allows if you're playing co-op, someone can actually jump on your mech while you're piloting it, and then they can use the mech as a turret, which is just pretty awesome.
Yeah.
We also did learn a lot about some of the social features that they're bringing to it as well, which are new. So, for example, you're actually going to be able to
buy weapons from people that have sold them.
If someone you're playing with has sold a weapon recently, you'll be able to buy it from the vendor. And you're also going to be able to go to these sort of bounty boards, which has shared quests based upon what your friends have seen. So if they saw some enemy somewhere and they didn't kill it or whatever, then you can go and kill it yourself, and you can invite them to come along, and you can just do it on your own, whatever else. So it's really interesting social systems that we haven't really seen before, but they don't ever force you to play together. They invite you to play together. And I think that's such a critical difference that a lot of games don't get wrong. They force you to do multiplayer, versus Borderlands has always said, no, if you want to play on your own, that's totally fine, man, go for it.
Yeah,
this has maintained that balance, it seems.
Yeah, I think it's hard to get the incentivizing right, you know. Don't over-incentivize that they feel like you're making them do it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
From what we saw, it didn't look like that. Exactly right. It looked like they just wanted you to experience that. At the same time, it looked like you were going to get a fantastic experience anyway if you just did it by yourself.
We also fought a boss. The boss was fucking awesome.
Really cool.
Oh man, he was
great.
like, how it works is that there's sort of 4 speaker walls around you, and he will kind of like light up those speaker walls, and if you're anywhere near them, they'll sort of like explode and knock you away and deal damage.
Yeah.
And he's constantly just sitting these different speaker walls or blowing these speaker walls up while you're doing this fight. So you kind of have to move around the room, you have to shoot him. He's got this like rainbow shield that he's using as well that's throwing out like static waves or whatever.
And again, like this, it just had so much personality too, you know, like it looked like one of the first mini bosses or whatever. Like
because you're only level 7 out of level 50, very early.
It didn't look like he was going to have an emphasis, but like the amount of effort and love and care into just such a small boss, I guess, along the long journey.
Yeah.
It just tells me that I'm in for a good ride for this because it gives me there's so much personality here, and that's what I think the main hook of Borderlands is right now.
Well, I think as well, it's clear they put a lot of years into this game. You know, the level of detail, all the new worlds you can visit, all the new classes and how they function, the mechanical details associated with all of their skill trees, the number of enemies and their mechanics, boss encounters.
Not to mention,
this looks like a very, very big game. From what little we've seen, it looks very big.
And it's a huge area that they're showing it in E3. Like,
oh my God.
It's console level. So if anyone hasn't gone to E3 before, Nintendo, Sony, and Xbox have the biggest areas always on the E3 floor. PlayStation's not here, and Borderlands is a single game. They don't have 5, 6, 10 titles showing. Single game showing that an entire floor pretty much of just one fucking game.
It really is
There's so much money that's been put into that. Oh my God.
It is the biggest booth.
That must be where the 2K bonus went.
Yeah, that's right.
Of course, for Randy.
It's the biggest booth I've ever seen for a single game in an
100%.
E3 show before. So they're putting everything into it. It's out in September 13th, I think. I think that's it. And I've gone from being like, yeah, cool, this could be great, whatever, to being like, wow, this is a seriously impressive showing. Yeah. And I was just really blown away by it.
Would you also say this is your played game now of E3?
I would say so far, yeah. I would say I absolutely loved Dune. I thought it was fantastic. Yeah. But I think I was just so impressed by Borderlands.
Surprised.
Surprised by how improved it was versus the sequel that I'm like, yeah, cool. I mean, I can definitely see myself, if they deliver on what we've seen and make a full game out of it, I can see myself playing a lot of hours of this, you know? So
yeah, so all in all, I think this is going to be a huge release, you know? They're putting a lot of money behind it. A lot of YouTubers like us, I'm sure, are going to say the same things. There's going to be a lot of hype behind this now and a lot of good things being said about this. So, Randy, you're onto something. You're a crazy motherfucker.
You are, man. Just don't say anything. Just let everybody else do the talking. You shut the fuck up and just let the good game that your people are making speak for itself. Okay, that's our hot tip.
We finished today. We are tired. We've done so many goddamn videos today. Guys, we'll be back tomorrow. Actually, I don't even know when we're putting this up, but fuck, when we're putting this up, we'll be back soon with more videos. That's all we're trying to say. Till next time, love you, appreciate you. See you later.